In this delicious recipe that we're making today, we're making pull-apart spaghetti rolls. You guys are absolutely going to love this. You already know how to make spaghetti, so what we did here is we shortened the video and we're just making, we've already made the sauce in one pan and we made the noodles in another pan, and we did use spaghetti noodles. You can go to one of our other videos if you want to see how to make spaghetti, but this is already done, so we're going to take our sauce momentarily and then we're going to mix it in with the noodles. So right now, because the noodles have sat on the stove for a little bit, they're sticking together a little. So we're going to take our sauce and we're just going to mix it in with the spaghetti. So we don't want to have too much sauce. So we're just doing little by little and mixing it in, so we're not going to have too much sauce to make our rolls soggy. So now we're mixing in the last bit of sauce and we're almost down to the end of our pan. And then we're going to pour in the remaining sauce because we made just enough. So we used one, I believe it may be a 16 or 20 ounce can of Hunt's tomato sauce. And so we're just pouring the rest of that in there. And I believe I used one pack, maybe it's a 12 or 16 ounce pack of noodles. And it's a regular spaghetti sized noodles. So I'm taking a little bit, you know me, and I'm kind of mixing it in, getting the last remnants out. Waste not, want not. Okay, so once you have that all mixed in, you see I have my little baking dish down there. I'm going to take my Hawaiian rolls right there. Those are the best tasting rolls. So I'm going to use that. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of the country crock spread and I'm going to grease the bottom of my dish. If you want to, you can use butter, you can use a spray, you can use oil, whatever you want to. We're just going to put it down there on the bottom so it doesn't stick. Now we're going to go back to our Hawaiian rolls, the delicious Hawaiian rolls. And we're going to get a knife, get a sharp knife that's going to cut through the rolls. So we're going to get a nice big sharp knife. So what you see there also on the table is basil, shredded cheese, and also you can use Parmesan cheese, the shredded cheese, or you can use a Parmesan grated. And you see I forgot the Parmesan grated at the store, so I'll show you momentarily what I used instead. So right now I'm just going across and I'm just cutting the buns in half. I'm not splitting them up, I'm just cutting them the bottom from the top. So I'm going to pull the top layer off as soon as I have to turn it around. I have to cut the other way because I'm trying to make sure that I kind of do them evenly, right in the middle. And you have to hold the top just to make sure you get a good cut and they don't pull apart. Okay, now what you're going to do is take the top layer off, the top of your Hawaiian bread, and you're going to set it aside. You're going to take your bottom half that you just cut, nice and neat, still intact, and you're going to put it at the bottom of your dish. Now I'm going to go back to my spaghetti and I'm going to put the spaghetti on the bottom layer buns. I'm just going to spread it nice and even, a nice little thick layer. You see how it's not runny at all. It's not dry, it's not runny, it's just perfect. And I'm just going to do that and spread that over the entire bun. So we're going to have quite a bit of spaghetti left over, so you can either use that to make another portion of this, or you can use the spaghetti to eat on the side or eat later. Okay, as you see, I have a nice layer of spaghetti on there, maybe about an inch and a half thick. So I forgot my Parmesan cheese at the store, so I used some little packets that I had from Pizza Hut or a pizza place, and I'm going to spread some of that on there, so don't forget your Parmesan at the store. And it is the grated Parmesan cheese that I'm spreading on there. So now I'm going to take some regular Mexican style cheese, I believe it's what I used, and I'm going to spread that on the top of the spaghetti layer with the Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to pour the rest of that, just spread that evenly. First, I'm going to clean up my mess. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my top layer that I cut off from the bottom of the Hawaiian bread, the Hawaiian rolls, and I'm going to lay that directly on top of the mound of spaghetti with the cheese. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my country crock spread and I'm going to butter the top of the rolls. You can use butter, you can use a spray, you can use anything that you wish. And I just make sure that each one of them had a good amount of the butter on there. Even adding butter to the sides a little bit. We want to get a little bit of nice caramelization going on when it's put in the oven. Now I'm going to take my basil and I'm going to sprinkle the basil on top of the rolls and the butter. That's just going to give it a nice look to it, a nice little basil-y look. Okay, now I'm going to take my finished product and I'm going to put it in the oven. And I believe I have the oven on 350 if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going to put the dish in the oven and I believe I left it in there approximately 15 minutes or so. I'm going to put it on the screen here, but just showing you all around what it looks like. So slide it into your oven like on the middle rack and put it on about 15 minutes. Depending on your oven, you want to make sure that you check it to make sure that, I think I put 20 minutes there, but I think I took it out a little bit early because I noticed that the browning. And there you have it. There's the finished product there. The rolls are nice and brown. The spaghetti's kind of coming out. And there's the finished product. So make sure you watch our short video because we have a nice picture of the finished product in the shorts.